So do you also want to write the rejection emails within seconds? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to write personalized rejection emails using an AI agent. So like you, I also used to manually write the personalized rejection emails, but this is such a time consuming and a tedious task. So to solve this problem, I've simply created this amazing automation where what is going to happen is that as soon as they update the status of the applicant into my Google Drive automatically, using OpenAI, we are just going to generate personalized rejection email, which we are just going to further send towards our applicant. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Google Sheets, OpenAI and Gmail. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen. Welcome to my screen everyone. So in this video I'll show you how to use an AI agent to write personalized and thoughtful rejection email at scale. So whether you're handling job applications, client proposals or partnership inquiries, this workflow tailors each message with empathy and clarity, saving time while maintaining your brand's tone. So let's dive in and build an AI rejection email generator that's professional, human and automated. So yes, over here you going to see that I have the applicant review sheet, and now once my hiring team changes the status and the reason for rejection, automatically a mail will be sent towards the same applicant. So let's try this. Let's say I'm just going to reject this Aditi Verma, and over here I'm just going to select the reason for the rejection as this, and once I'm just going to do this within seconds and in real time, the mail will be sent to Aditi. So for that I'm just going to open my Gmail, and as you can see, a mail has been sent to Aditi. It is saying thank you for the application and taking time to apply for the content writer position at Digital Dynamics. We appreciate your interest in the company. After reviewing your profile, we have decided to move forward with the other candidates whose profile are more closely matches to our brand style. So yes, you can see that within seconds and in real time, with the help of the same reason which we selected right over here, a mail has been sent to Aditi Verma. So yes, this is no magic. This is the power of automation which we are going to create in today's video. And if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to watch this tutorial till the end. So to do this, I'm simply going to open a new tab, and I'm just going to look for the landing page of Pabbly Connect simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. And now it is opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect, and over here we're just going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free, and you're going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this button which says sign in, and now it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over here you're going to see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connects account, and once I'm just going to click on this access, now it is going to open my dashboard. And to get started, I'm simply going to click on this button which says create workflow, and now it's asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations, and on my dashboard you can see multiple folders which I have already created in which I save my workflows. So if you also want to create a new folder, you can go towards this create new folder button and create your own. I've already created mine, so I'm just going to save my workflow in one of these only, which is automations, and now I'm just going to name my workflow as this: write personalized rejection emails using an AI agent. And then we are simply going to click on this button which says create, and once I'm just going to click on this create, it is going to open the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens, and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by our trigger, and that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, I'm simply going to select my trigger application, which is Google Sheets. So I'm just going to search for Google Sheets and select it, and now for the trigger event I'm simply going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet row, and now it is giving me a webhook URL. So we're just going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connects workflow. So I'm simply going to copy this webhook URL, then I'm just going to open my spreadsheet. From here we have to go towards this extensions, add-ons, and then towards this get add-ons. We have to add an extension in the spreadsheet which is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. So I'm simply going to search for the same, which is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. So I'm just going to look for the same, and as you can see that I have already installed this extension. So if you want to install this, you're going to get the option of install right over here, and you can install the extension right from here. And once you install the extension, you have to refresh your spreadsheet. So it is a really important step that you refresh your spreadsheet, and after refreshing the spreadsheet, you're going to see that Pabbly Connect Webhooks option will appear right over here. And if you won't refresh the spreadsheet, you're not going to see this option. And after getting this option, we are simply going to go towards this Pabbly Connect Webhooks and then towards this initial setup. And now it is asking me for the webhook URL and the trigger column. So now for the webhook URL, I'm simply going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow. And now for the trigger column, I'm simply going to enter my trigger column, which is E. So the trigger column will be your final data column, on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards your webhook URL. So for me, the trigger column is E, but for you, it will be according to your own spreadsheet, so you have to adjust it. And after doing this, I'm simply going to click on this button which says submit, and once I'm just going to click on this submit, it is saying setup configured successfully. And with this, we have successfully created a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. But now it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission or record. So what we have to do is we first have to go to this extensions Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and over here you have to keep in mind that the button which is send on event should always be switched on. So as you can see that I have already switched it on right from here. You have to keep in mind that this button should be switched on. Upon switching on this button, automatically a new event details will be sent towards your webhook URL. So let's change the status of this Rakesh Sharma. I'm just going to select the status as rejected right over here. And now for the reason of rejection, let's say I'm just going to select it as lacked required experience. So as you can see that we have successfully completed this, and now what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to open my workflow, and as you can see that Pabbly has captured the response. You can see the candidate name, the email, the reason for rejection, and the role applied for. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our trigger step, and now whenever this status is going to get changed, automatically this workflow is going to get started. But what I want is that not for the accepted ones this workflow should run. Like I select the status shortlisted or on hold, then this workflow should not run. So I'm just going to add a filter condition in this workflow. I'm just going to select my action as filter by Pabbly. It is a feature by Pabbly which helps you to add conditions. For the action event, I'm just going to select it as filter values, and over here for the value, I'm just going to select it as status. So I'm just going to look for status and select it as status. So now what I want is if the status is equals to rejected, then only this workflow should move on further. So I'm just going to keep the value as rejected right over here. So if the label is equals to rejected, then only this workflow is going to move on further after this filter. So I'm just going to click on this save and send test request, and as you can see, status success, message condition is true. So yes, right now the status is rejected, so this workflow is going to move on further. But let's say if I selected the status as shortlisted, then this workflow is going to stop right over here. Alright, so now I'm just going to move on further. Now I'm just going to select, I'm just going to add the action step, and I'm just going to use AI agent to write the personalized rejection email. So I'm just going to add another action step. Now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as open AI, which is my AI agent for today. For the action event, I'm just going to select it as ChatGPT and click on this connect. Now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your OpenAI account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this button which says select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the token. And to get this token, we simply have to follow the help text, and it is saying kindly visit your OpenAI API key page to get the API key that you need to enter here. So I'm simply going to go towards my OpenAI API key page to get the API key. And after coming over here towards this page, we simply have to go towards this create secret key. We have to name the key, select the project, and click on this create secret key button, and my key will be created. Alright, so already I've created many keys. I'm just going to use one from this only, and I'm just going to click on this button which says save. And with this, we have successfully connected our OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow, and now it is asking me to select the AI model. So I'm simply going to select it as GPT-4. You can select it as any another of your choice. And now it is asking me to enter the prompt. So I'm simply going to enter my prompt right over here to generate the rejection emails. So yes, you can see that I've successfully entered my prompt, and I'm just going to fill in these details. So the rejection email will be generated according to these same. Alright, so one by one I'm just going to enter all of these details, but I'm not going to enter it manually, but instead I'm just going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Sheets as our trigger application. So we are simply simply going to map the details from the response of a trigger application only, and as soon as we are just going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. Alright, so first I'm just going to map this candidate name, then I'm just going to map the role applied for right over here. So I'm simply going to look for role applied for and I'm just going to map it, and then I'm just going to map the reason for the rejection. And after mapping all of these details, I'm simply going to click on this save and send test request. And now further, my AI agent is going to generate me the mail, which is the subject and the body content. So yes, you can see that we have successfully received the response, and over here you're going to see that we have received the content, subject and the body. So you're going to see this is the mail subject and this is the body. So yes, you can see that we have successfully generated both of these, and I'm just going to send them a mail. For that, I'm just going to add another action step, and now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as Gmail, and now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as send email v2 and click on this connect. Now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Gmail account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this button which says select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now we have to click on this blue button which says connect with Gmail. And now it is asking me to select my Gmail account, with the help of which I'm just going to connect it. So I'm simply going to select my Gmail account, and now Pabbly is asking me for some permissions. So I'm simply going to click on this allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. And once I'm just going to click on this allow, with this we have successfully connected our Gmail account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me for the recipient email address. So I'm simply going to map it from the response of my Google Sheets. I'm just going to move on further. It is asking me for CC and BCC, so both of these are not the required fields. I'm just going to leave it as blank. For the sender's email address, I'm just going to select this email address, move on further. Now it is asking me for the sender's name, so I'm just going to enter the name of my company, which is Digital Dynamics. And now I'm just going to move on further. I'm just going to map the subject right over here. I'm just going to move on further. It is saying reply to, so no, this email is not a reply email. I'm just going to leave it as blank. It is saying email content type, so I'm simply going to select it as plain. It is saying email content, so I'm simply going to map the body of the mail. Now I'm just going to move on forward. It is asking me for many other details, so all of these details are not the required details. So I'm just going to leave it as blank and click on this blue button which says save and send test request. Alright, so I'm simply going to click on this save and send test request, and once I'm just going to click on this save and send test request, yes, you can see that we have received the positive response that we have successfully sent a mail to this person. So I'm just going to open the Gmail and check for the mail received. So I'm just going to open my Gmail, and as you can see that we have successfully received the mail, your application at Digital Dynamics. And we're going to see that the mail which we have received, dear Rakesh Sharma, thank you for applying for sales executive position as Digital Dynamics. You can see that this is the same mail which my AI agent generated. The same mail has been sent to Rakesh Sharma right over here. So yes, you can see that with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and now we don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. Like I showed you in the starting of this video, what is going to happen is that as soon as I update the status right over here in my spreadsheet and select the reason for rejection, automatically my workflow is going to get triggered. Further, OpenAI is going to generate the rejection email, and we are just going to send that email towards our applicant. So all of this is going to happen in backend. We don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. We just have to select this status and the reason for rejection, and everything will be done. So yes, now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect. And while trying, if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. See you in the next video with many more automation tips, everyone. Thank you for watching. So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can connect many more applications. So now if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this URL. And now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect.